These people planned 25 years in advance. Had Pac and Big still been alive today, come on, brother. You and I both know how strong they would have been.
What if I told you the biggest twist in hip-hop history hasn't even happened yet? For decades, the world was convinced Tupac Shakur died in that infamous Vegas drive-by. 4 bullets, chaos at the hospital, and headlines that etched his death into history. But now, hold on to your seats, fresh whispers, FBI leaks, and explosive claims suggest Tupac may still be alive, waiting in the shadows to unleash secrets that could end 2 of hip-hop's most powerful kings, Jay-Z and Diddy. Forget those blurry fan photos or conspiracy theories you used to laugh off. This time, the story isn't coming from fans. It's coming from law enforcement whispers and sealed files no one thought would ever resurface.
Could Puff have been involved in Tupac's murder or Biggie's murder?
I think that when you set up an atmosphere for something to happen, they wasn't gonna f with me, and they not gonna f with me. He said, I'm a businessman. I'm about making money, but something gotta change. I don't give a f if Pac gotta die, Big gotta die, or Suge Knight go to jail. Something's gotta change.
I don't think anything is coincidental. Why would you tell the littlest in the crew that these are the guys who took my chain? It's over there on the other side of the casino, by the elevators. Why you ain't go tell Suge?
Nobody, never did, ever, nobody. They don't have no evidence against me. Came and put me in Las Vegas, proved that I orchestrated this.
You said the shots came from the back. Who shot Tupac?
I keep it for the code of the streets. It just came from the backseat, bro. Shouldn't have said nothing. And I'm innocent, man.
Imagine this. Tupac Shakur, the rap icon the world mourned in 1996, didn't die at all. Allegedly, he's been hiding for nearly 30 years, and now he's supposedly ready to resurface with receipts. Receipts that could destroy everything Jay-Z and Diddy have built. This isn't some random fan in Havana mistaking a stranger for Pac. These are insiders. Real whispers from federal agents hinting that the legend never died. He just disappeared.
Came back downstairs, he was heated. He said, yo, Gene, I got 126 employees, and these people depend on me for their livelihoods. If these white folks thought or they would think that I had anything to do with any kind of gunplay, they wasn't gonna f with me, and they not gonna f with me. He said, I'm a businessman. I'm about making money, but something gotta change. I don't give a f if Pac gotta die, Big gotta die, or Suge Knight go to jail. Something's gotta change. And he took upstairs, he turned around and walked back upstairs. And it didn't dawn on me what he said. And then my man looked at me and Bun was like, yo, that nigga said Big.
Think back. The Vegas shooting was chaos. 4 bullets tearing through the night, 6 agonizing days in the hospital before the media declared him gone. The world cried, his mother, his fans, the culture itself, all in mourning. And yet, almost 3 decades later, the board looks completely different. Jay-Z and Diddy, 2 men who built empires on power and influence, are now cornered by lawsuits, scandals, and ugly headlines. And just when their castles start to crumble, whispers emerge that Tupac may return. Come back, that word doesn't even scratch the surface. This is the kind of story that could rip the industry apart.
Expect me, nigga, like you expect Jesus to come back. Expect me, nigga. I'm coming.
Guerrilla conversation, warfare, remain patient. Rhymes, I can't waste it, can't smell and taste it. Can, yes I can, damn right, I can make you with the mild, hot, basic, complex and complicated. I spit the verbal, venom, lyricism, fresh rated, separated myself. To get into myself, to get out of myself, to look directly at myself. And if you seen what I saw, and witness my flaws, my ups and downfalls, and why I rhyme at all is just a mystery to y'all, but still I'm down by law.
And here's where it gets darker. The claim isn't that Pac simply escaped. No, he outplayed everyone. He slipped away not just to survive, but to gather evidence. Evidence that insiders say ties Jay-Z and Diddy to more than shady deals. Evidence that could link them directly to the Vegas night that changed everything. And get this, the FBI reportedly isn't chasing rumors anymore. They've matched sealed files from the 90s with fresh intel from Tupac's alleged circle. Agents are reportedly in touch with someone tied to him, trying to lock down tapes, phone records, and even financial trails. The whispers are chilling. Pac may have been biding his time, building a case so big it could flip the entire industry upside down. Picture this, Tupac in exile, watching from the shadows as Diddy and Jay-Z became titans of the industry, knowing all along their rise wasn't clean, but built on the same bloody chessboard that forced him underground. Diddy facing scandals and lawsuits stacked sky high. Jay-Z suddenly tied to legal messes he can't PR his way out of. And just when it looks like their house of cards might collapse, the ghost they tried to bury steps forward, holding the matchbook that could burn it all down. And then there's Cuba. Oh yes, the infamous Cuba connection. For years, people dismissed those grainy videos of a man in Havana who looked too much like Tupac. Locals swore he was shopping at grocery stores, hanging in nightclubs, blending into crowds. It always sounded like delusional fan fiction, until Tupac's former bodyguard Michael Nice dropped a bombshell. He claimed he had proof, audio, video, even a detailed account of how Castro's Cuba allowed Tupac to hide. He spoke about bribes, Black Panther ties, a secret escape plan involving a Barbados airstrip, and a handoff that vanished Tupac into the arms of a regime that hated the same American establishment Pac fought against. Now here's the part that sends chills down your spine. Imagine finding out your so-called friends, collaborators, people you called brothers, might have ordered the hit that almost killed you. Imagine surviving, then hiding for decades, watching those same men grow filthy rich while you bide your time. Insiders say Tupac didn't just run to save his life. He used exile as leverage. He built what's being called a treasure chest of secrets, files, recordings, connections to the Black Panthers that gave him protection. And now, with Jay-Z and Diddy at their weakest, maybe the time has finally come. Think about it. Diddy locked up in Brooklyn, denied bail, his empire crumbling under lawsuits and dark allegations. Jay-Z suddenly pulled into lawsuits that threatened to torch his carefully built reputation. The two men once hailed as the untouchables of hip-hop now look like pawns in Pac's unfinished game. And here's where it all collides. The FBI is hunting for witnesses, digging into sealed files and chasing every clue tied to that Vegas night. Keffe D, one of the last suspects from the 1996 drive-by, is in custody and reportedly willing to cut a deal. Even Suge Knight, tweeting from behind bars, hints that justice for Pac might finally be here. Phone records from the 90s are resurfacing. Testimonies that were locked away are aligning with new leaks. The silence that once protected the powerful is shattering, and every crack echoes louder with Tupac's name. And now, here comes the icy twist. For years, people pointed fingers at Diddy as the ruthless mastermind, the one cold enough to fund a $1 million hit. But the latest whispers, they point the spotlight straight at Jay-Z. Yes, Jay-Z, the man celebrated at billionaire brunches, the mogul who rebuilt hip-hop's image after chaos. Insiders are now hinting that his circle moved money to names tied directly to the Vegas shooting. Phone intercepts from before Pac's disappearance allegedly line up with Jay-Z's movements. Suddenly, he doesn't look like a bystander. He looks like a silent partner, waiting to inherit the throne once Pac was out of the picture. It's no longer just about Diddy's scandals. If these claims are true, Jay-Z's empire may rest on blood-soaked foundations. Think about it. Could the so-called kingmaker, the man worshipped at brunches and boardrooms, have been pulling strings the whole time? These whispers aren't coming from bitter rivals. They're coming from insiders. Former security staff, retired agents, even accountants. They're hinting at timelines that don't add up, at gaps in Jay-Z's history that now seem damning. If Tupac's evidence proves real, hip-hop isn't about to enter another chapter. It's about to watch its most powerful dynasty collapse. And the fallout? Oh, it won't stop with Diddy and Jay-Z. Insiders are already whispering that managers, assistants, bodyguards, and lawyers are scrambling. Some subpoenaed, some suddenly on vacation overseas. Social media accounts vanish overnight. Old phones are being burned. The code of silence that once glued the industry together has cracked wide open. Diddy, once the life of Hampton's parties, now sits in a cell, not a mansion, facing charges so dark his legal team can barely keep up. His brand is drowning under words like criminal enterprise, racketeering, and exploitation. Every lawsuit feels like another nail in the coffin, another enabler flipping to save themselves. And Jay-Z, the cracks are showing in that billion-dollar penthouse. Civil suits pile up. Every new filing threatens to drag private records into the light. Fans who once worshipped him are now combing through old lyrics and timelines asking, was it all built on betrayal? Jay-Z's defense is desperate. One moment he paints himself as a victim of targeted attacks. The next, he distances himself from Diddy, the man he once called brother. But no amount of denial can undo the damage if Tupac's files surface. This isn't about a scandal. scandal, it's about rewriting the very history of hip-hop. Decades of influence, awards, charity work, brands, and legacies could go up in flames if Pac walks back with proof. Imagine that. The same moguls who stood shoulder to shoulder at Rock Nation brunches suddenly exposed as architects of betrayal, and it doesn't stop there. Even celebrities who swore they knew the story are panicking. Road managers, lawyers, assistants, they've all gone quiet. Rumors swirl of other A-listers being pulled into investigations. Private jets loaded with PR teams fly in and out of Miami and LA, desperately trying to contain fires they can't control. And the betrayal? Fans feel it deeply. For decades, we thought the East Coast versus West Coast war was about music, about rivalry. But what if it was darker? What if it was always about control, money, and silencing Pac forever? Even Suge Knight's cryptic comments, Tupac's mother's strange hints, and the Machiavelli persona suddenly looked different. That album, The Don Killuminati, The 7-Day Theory, wasn't just art, it was prophecy, a strategist's move, a clue that Pac might have staged his own death to return when the time was right. And now, here we are. The storm is brewing, and no one has a playbook for it. Major labels are in panic. Whispers say the FBI isn't just looking at Diddy and Jay-Z, they're building cases that could drag in producers, handlers, and even executives who thought they were untouchable. One former Def Jam manager put it bluntly, if Pac really has the tapes and the feds are involved, it's a bloodbath waiting to happen. We're talking billions at stake. Entire careers and legacies on the line, corporate sponsors, award shows, and music catalogs could crumble overnight. And yet, the question looms. If Tupac truly steps back into the light, evidence in hand, what happens next? Do we erase Diddy and Jay-Z from the very history they helped write? Do we crown Tupac as the ultimate survivor, or do we question the silence he held for decades? Court documents have already named Diddy 77 times in connection with Pac's case. Jay-Z's lawyers are scrambling, Diddy's empire is in ashes, and whispers of Pac's return grow louder every day. It feels like the stage is set for hip-hop's ultimate reckoning. Are we about to watch the collapse of its biggest dynasty? Or are we still caught in the labyrinth Pac created? Half-truths, illusions, and a final performance no one can decode. One thing's for sure, if even a fraction of this is true, the truth will hit harder than any verse Tupac ever wrote. And when it comes, nothing, absolutely nothing, will ever be the same again. So now the question, are you ready for the truth? Because this story isn't over, not even close. Drop your theories in the comments because Pac's ghost might be watching. And if you don't want to miss the next bombshell, you better like, subscribe, and turn those notifications on. Until then, stay sharp because hip-hop's darkest secret might finally be coming to light.